Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
And welcome to sunnyAndertons.co.uk, where we sell guitars like this.
Ooh! I am holding in my hand here a GoPro camera because I need to get close to what the action is happening here whilst talking to you about it, because there's a lot of hidden goodness on this guitar.
Lee, you know what is good about taking a Gibson Les Paul and making it better?
What?
Putting a robot in it. That's what's good about taking a Gibson Les Paul and making it better.
So this has got more processing power than R2-D2 and C-3PO put together.
You could have flown to the moon
as Metal Mickey
15 times if it had
Metal
happened
Mickey.
using the technology built into this here Gibson guitar.
Now, we've seen this guitar before in a previous disguise, haven't we? What was that?
It was the Firebird X.
It was the Gibson Firebird X, which we bought to you maybe 18 months or 2 years ago. And despite a lot of mocking and general sort of mixed reception that guitar got, we actually sold 8 of them.
Well, you know, people that innovate often get ridiculed.
They do. Leonardo da Vinci always got told that the Mona Lisa looked stupid.
No. But, you know, Gibson are pushing boundaries by putting robotics in their guitars.
They are.
And good on them.
Yes, so essentially we've got the same guts and innards as we had in the Firebird X, but now on a much kind of more normal, nicer looking guitar called the Les Paul X.
Well, the nicer looking thing is subjective.
I think it's nice. It's definitely if you remember the Firebird X, the finish on it was a bit lumpy, which people sort of moaned at, and this definitely isn't. This is a proper cellulose finish.
It's not lumpy.
And the neck on the old Firebird X was a bit of a plank as well, wasn't
This is
it?
a much better the neck than the Firebird X. Yeah.
So now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the one overriding negative out the way in this review, because it's this thing that we sort of didn't like the most on the Firebird X, and it's the thing that we still like the least on the Les Paul X, and I think it's the thing that kind of makes this really predominantly a home and studio guitar rather than a live guitar, and that's because it is entirely reliant on the battery in it and entirely reliant on being switched on.
That's kind of grown on me. I like the fact that if someone's playing it and you don't like them, you can just turn them off with one finger. I think it's nothing but a plus now.
So
I'm going to be good cop all the way through this.
So using my GoPro camera, I'm going to just show you where the on-off button is. Now the on-off button is, it works on a rechargeable battery which we've charged and is going to last for quite a few hours. How many hours do you think it lasts? Roughly 5 hours we think it lasts.
That's all right.
Plenty of time to do a good session in the studio. So here we go. I pull this out and you'll see it light up. Now it takes about 3 or 4 seconds to boot up. So you can see if you accidentally push that in whilst you're gigging, you can't just quickly switch it back on. You're going to be down for a few seconds. So that's criticism pretty much out the way. From here on in, we're just going to love the technology. So the first thing that it's got built in is the robot tuning system.
Yes,
now,
and I'm a little bit out of tune.
Not that much out of tune.
Not much, but I've
stretch some strings just to make them out of tune or something like that, so we can show what it does. We're now out of tune. Good.
That's tuning for the 60s.
What Rob needs to do is this grey 3-way toggle here.
Yes.
He just pushes down towards tuning mode.
Okay.
Number 1, which is what it defaults to, is the E tuning. So just strum 6 strings. You'll see the machine heads all moving.
Get that action on camera.
Yeah.
Yay!
So, and the other cool thing is that it mutes. This is unlike mini tune. It's a feature on Robot which I prefer to mini tune. Is it mutes the guitar whilst it's tuning automatically, and then brings the guitar volume back up automatically once it's in tune. There are 11 tuning banks within here. Do you want to do an open G or anything like that, or should we do that later in the video?
Open G sounds dangerous to me. Why don't we go for something really simple like E flat standard?
E flat, okay, right. Well, in that case then, what we do is we go back into tuning mode, change this until it says numero 3, strum all 6 strings, sorry.
3 strings is the next one they're bringing out.
And as you can see, it's rapidly detuning everything.
Taking me to Guns N' Roses territory.
Your green ones are in tune, and you can see your E and your B are red. So what you need to do is really just do those 2 strings. Oh, there you go. So we are now in the key of the people.
We are in the key of the people.
E flat. So we might as well stay there, to be honest with you. So we come back out of tuning mode, and now we've switched the robot system off. So that's not going to tune anymore. in its standard mode, in other words, the mode that we're in now, my 5-way pickup switch here is not working like a pickup switch. It's working a bit like on a multi-effects processor, like just a patch recall system.
And it gives you a nice effect too, because if you want to like stutter some chords.
There's a bit of latency there, so it's not. That's why it's not switching like a normal 5-way selector. So just like again on a pedal board, this is called the master control unit. You can see as I turn something, it's going 1, 4, 5. And let's get back to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And they change colours as well. You can see we've got blue ones.
These are just
red
basic
ones.
guitar sounds.
These are banks of sounds. So the first bank uses the mini humbucker bank. So essentially this is by using the 5-way switch, I would recall 5 presets, all based on a mini humbucker sound. If I go into bank 2, I'll recall 5 presets based on a single coil sound, and bank 3 would be on a humbucker sound. What I am going to show you, by just moving the camera over here, the GoPro, if Rob just changes the 5-way selector now, you can see that actually you're getting a visual display on these foot pedals. Now the foot pedals are all part of the price, as is a breakout box and a gig bag and some cases that I'm going to show you later. But these pedals, very cleverly, are attached, although they're powered by mains, so I've got a main seat on the floor, they can be powered by batteries, but they're connected to the guitar via Bluetooth. Now here's something cool, just whilst we're on there, turn your volume down.
Which one's volume?
The silver one. And look at the pedal.
Oh, look at it move.
So as you can see, you can either turn your volume up by using the pedal on the floor, or by just adjusting the volume.
It's like a really...
So anyway, back to the guitar. So let's just hear then, Rob, a few of the sounds in bank number 1.
Okay.
So don't use them. Don't use that one. Just use that one.
Okay. So.
Okay, so super quick and easy. We can just literally let's go to bank 3 for example and see some humbucker sounds.
So
just turn it till it says
2,
3 on it.
And then 3.
Yeah, and basically your 5-way selector now is 5 different presets with humbuckers. Kind of what is cool is, what were we on? We were on Les Paul, right, we're on a kind of a Les Paul patch.
Yeah.
Now what's kind of cool, if I again, I should bring the camera back this way. If I again push the grey knob up to here, we're going to stay within that Les Paul type patch, if you like, but now the 5-way becomes like a normal pickup selector, as if it was on a Les Paul.
But rather than being a Les Paul with 3, you get 5.
You still get 5. So whether I'm guessing we probably get some maybe
They're
like
in
Peter
between
Greeny
tones.
type thing.
Well, that would be amazing.
And what I do like is you're always getting a visual readout on the floorboard here of the type of tone and setting that you've got. So I don't know if I can zoom in a bit closer. You might be wondering, what's the other floor controller for? Now the other floor controller essentially is emulating what I can do with the master control button on here.
Controls.
So if you don't want to go, let's go back into program
if you don't want to
mode.
go all fingers and on the body.
So if we don't want to go to bank, say you want to go to bank number 6, for example, if you press the bottom right-hand corner button.
That's 6.
That has instantly taken me to bank 6.
It's got some delay on it too.
That's right. Which brings me nicely on to essentially what the different banks do. So our first 3 banks are electric guitar based, but bank 4 is an acoustic guitar one. So let's either press the I think they go downwards, so it's like 1, 2, 3 on the left.
That one?
That's it.
So it is. That's actually quite a nice tone.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I don't know
now-
why I said actually as if that was a surprise.
And it's now using the piezo pickup built into the tailpiece,
okay.
into the bridge, sorry. We'll notice that we're doing all these sounds through a completely dry Fender amplifier, so we haven't got any reverb on the Fender. And what we'll do is we'll add reverb in from the guitar. So any effects that you hear, like reverb, distortion, chorus, etc.
Okay. So it's a lovely acoustic sound, but it's a bit dry. Can we add a reverb to it?
Okay. You see the blue control where your normal pickup toggle switch would be?
I see my blue control.
What is very cool is that as well as being up and down kind of toggle switches, the actual knob itself is rotary. So see if you can do that with your fingers in a way that the camera can see.
Okay, so what's this?
Oh, so now that should add some reverb in. So
Okay,
just
so
try.
if I... Wow.
Now you might be sort of thinking, oh, I don't like that reverb, or I want a different reverb. You know, basically, either there are some sliders on the top of the guitar. If you show me, just flip the guitar over so we can see those.
Yes,
so there's some sliders here which give you a little bit of hands-on kind of ability to change the types of reverbs and the amounts of reverbs. But what you've also got is the Breakout box, which allows you to connect this guitar to your computer. Has enormous editing functionality to really access all of the effects and save into the guitar pretty much any kind of reverb that you'd want. So what you can do now, Rob, with the 5-way selector is have 5 different types of acoustic guitar.
Oh, I see.
What's that, like a resonator?
It's like a
isn't it?
resonator, yeah. We've got a nice acoustic sound. Mm-hmm. We've heard some reverb. I want to hear some delays.
Okay, the default mode for the sort of the blue control here and the red one down here are reverb up here and gain down here.
Right.
However, if we want to get into the sort of the modulation and the delay as well as the echo, we can do that. What we have to do is double tap the black control. Now, what we should find up here, so if you come up here, see where it says echo.
Okay, echo.
So this one will do the type of echo, and if you look on the floorboard,
oh,
in fact, let me show you on the
chorus delay,
floorboard.
ducking.
So you
give me a nice tape.
Did we have tape?
Yeah,
there?
we went through it. Back.
Okay,
Good.
so tape. What's the one underneath?
There you go, baby.
Yeah. So use the sliders.
Okay.
So what is this?
So this is feedback. Right? This is feedback.
So you just want a number of repeats. Yeah.
This is depth and time. Perfect.
So that's actually now we could save that whole patch to a particular memory location. horrible gain on an acoustic guitar sound. So let's move on to bank 5. In fact, we'll do banks sort of 5, 6 and 7 pretty quickly because they're just a bunch of sort of clean guitar sounds with either reverb, modulation or delay.
So I turned it, but nothing happened. Oh, we
need to be, let's have a look. That's correct.
Okay, yeah. Oh, we got some modulatione.
We'll have now essentially these 5 controls here
okay.
will give you your 5 different types of guitar sound with modulation. I should just say that just like a guitar effects unit that you sometimes buy and some of the presets that it comes with, you think that's not very usable or what, it's exactly the same with this guitar. The presets are simply there to kind of show off what you might be able to do. You just basically, as soon as you get the guitar, just dial it in and dial up some sounds that you like, change the choruses, change the tremolos, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So anything Rob's showing you here, as I said, it's just to show what it might do.
What I like about this is it sounds a bit like the intro theme tune to Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, delays, sorry, these are. Might as well just go into bank 7, which is the reverbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Not to forget, anytime you think, oh, I like that effect, I just want a different guitar sound, you can pop the grey knob up into the program mode, and then will stay within that reverb, and the 5-way switch just goes back to being like a normal, so that'll be like a neck pickup, that'll be a bridge pickup sound. So it's kind of cool, so you should get a nice... Reminds me of one of the very, very first videos we ever did, where we basically took a Marshall amp and played it in the warehouse before we moved in. Biggest reverb you've ever heard. Okay, so now we're going to go into the red mode. Now, red mode is the distortion mode. It's probably not my favourite sounding part. But, you know, it's got some tones in there. I'm reliably informed that if you get into the actual editing, there's so much control over the drive stuff, and it's such a powerful processor that there are some really, really cool kind of drive sounds in there. But again, let's see if we can find one that we like. A bit fuzzy, that one. Say we like that first one. So
I didn't.
You didn't like the first one?
Didn't like any of them.
Okay,
but the thing is,
But
I
you get what we're
don't
saying.
think he'd use it that way. I think if you were going to go through a PA and you didn't have an amp and you were like out and about doing your thing, you might use that. Yeah. If you didn't have a great gain,
or you wanted some ideas, but that
it's just options, man. But you're going to put this into an amp with gain.
Of course, what we can, and let's do that. So what we're going to do here now is just essentially show you what the guitar would sound like if we just used a normal dry. A dry humbucker tone from the Les Paul X into a Marshall with some gain and reverb. Now you're hearing from the amp. So this is kind of like what it would sound like if you just have a regular amplifier.
Yeah.
So.
And of course, that sounds great.
Let me just turn the Marshall back onto its clean sound. So that's pretty much the extent of what you can do with this kind of cool package. So I have to say,
it's like NASA went back in time, took over the Gibson factory, and made something crazy but interesting.
It's kind of what I rather hoped the Firebird X would have been in the first place. You know, it's about £1,000 cheaper than Firebird X was when that came out. In fact, it's more. I think it's more. I think it's more like 12 or 13.
So what does this retail for?
These are about £2,000. It's pretty much the same engine that was in the Firebird X, and I kind of think that was the thing with Firebird X. If you could just get over the visual. Well, I was going to say monstrosity that it was. That's probably a bit unfair. You know, if you could get over the fact that it was just not everybody's cup of tea.
Yes.
And get into the technology, most people actually did go, do you know what? It's actually kind of cool. There's a lot of debate as to, you know, well, why would you want all the effects built into the guitar? Why don't you just use them in the...
I think the problem with this is there are lots of good things about this, and there are lots of issues with this. But the main issue is that in the market, there are other guitars that do a very similar thing, aren't there?
No.
Well, what about the Variax?
Well, this is an interesting point because some people will say the big difference between Variax and Firebird X, Les Paul X, is first of all, when it comes to the tuning, Variax simulates alternative tunings.
This is the real thing.
Yeah, whereas Firebird X actually, I keep calling it Firebird X, Les Paul X actually retunes. Now, of course, some people will say that's a good thing. The Variax wins because by keeping the string tension the same all the time and just changing the pitch, there aren't going to be any issues with all of a sudden your E string becoming super floppy, or maybe even issues with the tension on the neck.
Although, of course, if the strings stay the same tension with the other guitar, then you can sometimes hear that.
That's
over
exactly what I was going to say. So some people will
amplifier.
find it incredibly confusing, particularly again in maybe a quieter scenario. If the strings that you're hearing on the guitar are essentially tuned to one pitch, but what you're hearing coming out the amplifier is something different, it's unbelievably freaky. So this doesn't do that. The other thing is that the Variax, clever as it is, just has models of different types of guitars. It doesn't have built-in reverbs, distortions, delays, choruses, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a different beast.
I think we're interested, Lee, aren't we, in what people think, because you guys are the voice of the world. So if you like this, if there are elements of it that you would change, if there are elements of it that you love, tell us in the comment section below. And obviously Gibson will be watching the videos.
Well, you know, Gibson, it's kind of there is a sort of a school of thought that says don't mess with the Les Paul. You know, it's one of the greatest iconic rock guitars of all time. Don't mess with it. There is, of course, the flip side to that argument that says Les Paul himself was a mad inventor. He was constantly pushing the boundaries of what you could do in the world of music, not just on his guitars, but you know, with multi-track recording and echo machines and all kinds of stuff. So I'm quite comfortable that Gibson are
absolutely mad as a hatter and make crazy stuff.
Well, they'll make 59 Les Pauls out of their custom shop for those guys, and they'll make Les Paul X's and Firebird X's and the mini tune system to sort of almost in honour of the Les Paul kind of mad inventor thing. There is another product I need to just show you. Not product, sorry, part of this package. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this on my GoPro camera, which has stalled again, but is still filming. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the Breakout box that comes with the guitar. There's tons of stuff that comes with this. Now,
so you can plug it into a PC and do some recording.
It would appear, although I don't have this from the horse's mouth, but it would appear that this is a piece of kit that Gibson have bought from an existing sort of supplier and modified it to work with the Les Paul X. Because there's stuff on here, for example, the MIDI output, that doesn't do anything. It's just, so I'm guessing that was either an idea they hadn't abandoned, or it worked on something else but not for Gibson. So predominantly the idea of this is that your Les Paul X is plugged into here. You can then either use this as a little mini amp, so you can plug your headphones in and listen to your guitar through the Breakout box, or on the back here, so you've got a USB output, turn it out the right way, USB output, and that does let you run it into your computer, at which point you can then either use it as an audio interface, or you can use it as a way to edit your guitar on the computer. It will even, via the USB output and the piezo pickup on the guitar, will allow you to assign each string to a different track on a sequencer. So if you want to do some really kind of crazy stuff and start putting different effects and edits on each individual string.
A couple of Buckethead getting involved in that.
So that's the Breakout box. It comes with a cool bag and case, which I'll just pull around the corner.
Well, why don't we have that fly over the screen?
Okay, I'll do that.
We'll have that fly over the screen now.
So there we go, Les Paul X. We've bought a few of them, just so that if you want to come to the store.
How many have you got, Lee?
Oh, no, I mean, we've bought like 3 or 4 of them, so if you want to come to the store and check one out, you can do. Or if just off the strength of this amazing video that you've just watched, you think, do you know what? That's for me, that is. We, of course, ship these all over Europe. So this is the Les Paul X.
I've been Rob Chapman.
And I've been Dr. Anderton.
And we love you.
We do.
Bye.
Bye.